Yo, what's happening? This is Patrick, and today we're going to talk about sleep hygiene. Any given day, we have 1,000,001 responsibilities. Maybe you want to balance your personal career and a social life, or you want to juggle a side job with your academic career. Now, the one thing that always comes to short, that always falls short in those instances, is sleep. We're almost constantly sleep deprived. Most of us fuel ourselves through the day with massive amounts of caffeine. And we always promise ourselves that at one point we will catch up on that sleep. Maybe on the weekends. But then the week is over and the weekend comes and our friends say, let's go out. Let's go to the social gathering. Let's go to this party. And here we go again. You will never catch up on that sleep. One weekend goes by and you didn't catch up on that sleep that you're so desperately longing for. What also your mind and your body is just craving. Most of us will never manage to get those 9 hours a night of sleep. And after a while, a sleep debt will accumulate and eventually the exhaustion will rear its figurative head and will force us into taking more time off. Now, most people ask, when will I ever be able to catch up on that precious sleep? And the answer is probably never. Chances are, if your life is busy now, your life won't be any less busy in the future. Why would it? There's always more responsibilities, always more work to do. So the only thing you can do is you can learn how to increase the sleep quality and deploy sleep hygiene techniques to make those hours that you rest count. Now we're living in a world of more information, more Facebook friends, more Instagram likes, more. The thing that we really don't need is more stuff. So what I wanted to show you in this video is how to deploy modalities that help you to get more out of less. So I don't want you to necessarily sleep more, but I want you to deploy these modalities to be able to get more rest out of that sleep that you have. Now, a little disclaimer right ahead. If you have the luxury of getting 9 hours of sleep every single night, do not, I repeat, do not cut into the sleep. Don't sacrifice the quantity or the amount of sleep that you're getting every single night. Sleep deprivation is something that has massive consequences for your mental and physical health. Among the risks are things like seizures, diabetes, psychosis, or depression. Although those are like the more harsh consequences of it. Among the more milder or simpler consequences would be, at best, you're really big pain in the ass for the people around you. You're not a really likable person when you sleep deprived all the time. Now, without further ado, I'm going to present you the 5 ways how to increase your sleep quality, how to deploy sleep hygiene modalities to make your sleep more restful. Now, let's start out with the first. I know this might not be a sleep hygiene tip, but this is a simple tip how to catch up on sleep that you didn't get the night before. And that strategy is naps. So in a study of NASA, they wanted to find out what kind of impact a simple 40-minute nap can have on the performance of pilots of NASA. So the study was conducted on these pilots and they were instructed to take a 40-minute nap in the afternoon. Now, after this nap, they were instructed to take a test so they can evaluate the alertness and the performance of those pilots. The findings are astonishing because they found that the performance increased by 34% and the alertness improved by 100%. Now, if you look at these findings, you're going to see that even a 40-minute nap can make massive changes in your everyday life. So deploying that modality makes a lot of sense when you feel sleep deprived. Now, a different way to get in a nap that is even more efficient is what is called a espresso nap. The espresso nap is more or less what the name already says. You drink an espresso or some kind of caffeinated beverage, and then right afterwards you go to sleep and take that nap. The caffeine and the nap will have a compounding effect and will skyrocket your recovery and skyrocket your performance and alertness. Secondly, let's start with the equipment. What do I mean by that? I mean, let's start with the bed. The most important thing about your sleep hygiene is, what are you gonna sleep on? So you want to figure out what is the best mattress for you. Shall it be a little bit more soft or a little bit more firm? It should make you more comfortable, because the key to all of this is to decrease discomfort. Now you really have to experiment around, and if you have the luxury to have that kind of resources, really go and spend a good amount on a good mattress. Now thirdly, your environment. What do I mean by the environment? So we all know that when we go to sleep, sometimes we just turn off the TV and the screen is still kind of flickering. It still gives off a little bit of light, or we hear noises in the distance and we're distracted by these noises. We always want to chime into what is happening outside or what is happening inside our room. Now the best way to go about this is to make sure that you block out as much noise and as much light as possible. How can we do that? Now, I want you to really go and identify all of the sources of light and all of the sources of noise and try to eliminate those. Now, for example, it could be something like your charger when you charge your laptop or your phone. I want you to cover these things up, even if it's a little light. I want you to cover these things up in order to prevent the light to wake you. Now, the way that works is that a brain area that is called the suprachiasmatic nucleus is responsible for your circadian rhythm. It catches up on the light that falls into your eye and will subsequently change your physiology, will increase or decrease melatonin, which is a hormone that regulates your sleep. Now, if a lot of light comes in, you will be less and less sleepy because your circadian rhythm will tell you that it's actually day, it's not night, it's not the time to go to sleep. Now, if you cover all of your appliances, if you make sure that your room is pitch black, you're going to be able to increase melatonin and induce sleepiness. One simple way to make sure that you ease into that phase kind of easier is to download the app that is called Flux. Now, the way that the app Flux works is it filters out blue light waves, the most important or the most crucial light waves that you have to filter out in order to induce sleepiness. Now, also it accustoms you to more dark environment and will transition you into the sleeping phase. Now, a different thing is noise. Like I said before, you want to make sure that you block out as much noise as possible, but sometimes that is not really possible for most people, or sometimes there are even people that for some reason can't lie down when it's totally silent. Now, a good option that I can recommend you is to either listen to relaxation music or to white noise. The relaxation music or the white noise will help you filter out those distracting noises from outside, and they will subsequently help you to fall asleep more easily as you relax. Number 4, relaxation techniques. Now, most people would say or would recommend go and meditate before you go to sleep. And I think this is one of the best ways or most efficient ways of relaxing yourself. You can simply start by taking a couple conscious breaths and closing your eyes and really try to let go of any sort of control over your thoughts. I know some people have a lot of trouble with that. That's why I want to provide you some optional ways of doing the same thing, of achieving the same thing. Sometimes it's also helpful to write about your day in some sort of journal. Now what that does is it helps you to reflect on the day and block these thoughts about what happened throughout your day out. It will just simply help you as a relaxation strategy to relieve stress. Now, all of these strategies aim for the same effect. It is to free your mind off of what happened throughout the day. And some people have problems in the other direction. Some people have problems with not ruminating about what happened, but what is about to happen the next day. They're stressing out about all of these things that they have to do. One thing that you can do to avoid that is by simply making a to-do list. You're going to write down everything that you want to achieve the next day, and you make a little plan, a plan of attack that makes you ready and excited for the next day, but also takes off that conscious thinking while you want to go to sleep. Because the last thing you need when you want to fall asleep is conscious thinking, overthinking everything over and over. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is about nutrition and supplementation. Now, most people wouldn't even consider that as being part of helping you to manage your sleep and a modality in your arsenal or tools that you have for sleep hygiene. But I want to make the point that all of these things in terms of nutrition and supplementation are only a cherry on top of the cake. It is just a supplementation. It is not the bread and butter, the things that we talked about before. This is the bread and butter. The supplementation and the nutrition is just something on top. Now, 2 recommendations I can give in terms of supplementation are melatonin and magnesium. Now, melatonin is, like we said before, a hormone that regulates your sleep and induces you drifting off into sleeping. Now, this comes in a pill form. It can be bought almost everywhere. What I want to say is, like a little disclaimer, you can get hooked onto melatonin and start being dependent on taking this pill before you go to sleep. So this is only the last resort in cases where you really can't fall asleep and it's important that you do so. I would not recommend doing it on a daily basis because at one point you're going to desensitize and you need more and more of it, and it's just messing too much with your natural rhythm. The second one is magnesium. Magnesium is a supplement that helps you to relax your muscle and helps you to induce an increased recovery effect on your muscles. It works by relaxing your muscles and making you thereby fall asleep more easily because, like I said before, the name of the game is to make sure that we have as least discomfort as possible, that we have at the least distraction as possible, that it makes us so easy to fall asleep because there's nothing standing in the way. Now, combining all of these factors, choosing all of these modalities and combining them will have a compounding effect, but already just deploying one of them will make your sleep so much more restful and increase your sleep quality, your sleep hygiene by a massive amount. So what I want you to do is to start out with one thing. Make it a routine, make it a habit. And by putting all of these things into a routine, into a habit, it will make everything feel way easier. It's so automatic and so natural to you that you will just have no trouble falling asleep and getting more out of less sleep. The last thing I want to encourage you to do is, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure that you comment, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel to stay up to date for the newest uploads that are gonna come weekly on this channel. It would mean the world to me if you would subscribe and stay up to date with what I'm doing and the value that I'm providing. And that's it for today. Gonna see you next time. Peace.